now that everyone's had time to get comfy after the raid, hopefully you landed safely and not off a few clicks off target. If you did, you've had enough time to run. So you should be arriving just about now. Don't worry, the Dapplings should have laid out some ropes for you, though the best ones have probably already been taken, so you're going to have the holy ones. Whether that's your thing or not, up to you. We're going to start a new campaign. And that means we're going to get to see the cinematic. Enjoy. War. Never changes. Only, it does technically. Quite a lot, actually, depending on the era. But, war. For centuries, the war was engulfed in never-ending strife and chaos. Elves fighting dwarves, dwarves fighting humans, orcs fighting everyone, honestly. The common folk were bled dry, misery, famine, plague. Secluded in his tower, researching forbidden magic secrets, the Archmage Hieronymus Teller made an extraordinary discovery. Wild, unknown words of power to harness tremendous forces. A ritual of mass destruction, able to obliterate any tiny city in a single strike. Hoping to end all wars, he cast a spell on Glintfing, a small enemy village. A gigantic dark ball of purple flames fell from the sky and smashed into the town centre, leaving only ruins, lifeless bodies, and purple fumes. The whole royal family of a neighbouring kingdom was present at that time. They all died. The king, mad with grief, ordered the military to research this new magic. He made his mages unleash hell on the closest major city. Several 100,000 died. Every kingdom sought the purple magic. Alliances were set in motion. The sky was constantly flashing purple bursts. Thundering blasts were heard every hour. War was no more. Only annihilation. There was no turning back. At some point the explosion stopped. A resounding silence. An ominous mist started to aggregate around the remaining cities. Small groups of survivors gathered. The surrounding mist was thickening. At night, they had to defend themselves against ghastly monsters. They called them Colors. A fighter simply known as the Commander took charge. Defenses were rebuilt. Some havens emerged from the chaos. Most mages were hanged, or worse, in retribution. Some of them, fearing for their lives, tried to find an answer. They found a way. A spell. The last spell. They devised complex rituals to cleanse the corrupted runic nexus. The goal was simple, yet nearly impossible. Channel enough energy to break the remaining seals of magic, and banish all magic from this world, forever. But when comes the night, terrifying mutated creatures appear. They come out of the mists to kill. The survivors' only hope is to fight, night after night, and protect these mages at any cost, until the last spell is cast. They literally took the saying, fight fire with fire, and applied it to this. But as Eddie Izzard would very much point out, applying more bees to a problem with bees does not fix the problem with bees. It just makes more bees. No. Alright, this is a tutorial. Also, I want to shout out the The sub, sorry. You subbed while I was narrating. So, Squirrel, thank you so much for the 29 months. So delighted to have you back in streaming, Aavak. It is so wonderful to be back. Not least because so many people are saying such lovely things. Kenneth, thank you very much for the 42 months. And Isham Gamer, 95-month streak. Wow. We've got a 99 and a 95. Have we got any other 90s in chat right now? Hold up your hands. You can form a cult. Of course, the leader of the cult will be the person with the highest one, and right now that's Bilal with 99. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat 99, because if you're more than 99, you're 100, and that's a different cult. I leave it to you to decide what your robes are going to look like. Are they going to be more kind of like celestial robes, more demonic robes, more sexy robes, a little bit of both, a little bit of all three? Who knows? Hey, Temple, thank you very much for the prime, mate. Nazagivi, I am feeling so much better. Thank you very much for asking. Flesh robes, okay, now that could go in two ways, okay? It depends entirely on whether this is a dark Aavak chat or a horny Aavak chat. Flesh robes could either be, like, you know, sexy fun times, or not. More kind of psycho serial killer vibes. I mean, I'm not judging either way, you know? You do you, boo. But I'm just saying, it's ambiguous, alright? No. Let's not have dark horny Aavak. That's... No. Sometimes both is not the correct answer, Jet. I know. Eldorado would have you believe differently, but sometimes both is not good. No. Alright. Defend the last bastion of humanity with your squad of heroes, while the mages try to banish all magic, exterminate fiendish monsters by night, and rebuild your battered city defenses by day. Protect the magic circle night after night until the mages break the seal. The haven is lost if the magic circle is destroyed, or if all heroes are dead. During the deployment phase, position your heroes by placing them just outside the city. The camera can be moved, blah blah blah, edge panning, blah 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 blah. The direction of incoming hordes is shown in the Commander's Journal. Commander's Journal? Hello? Commander's Journal. Northwest. Ah, yes, so you are. Position your heroes. Angelica, Leland, and Edwig. Would that be Edwidge? Edwidge? Or Edwig? Edwiggy? Bloody English and its silent E's. I don't even know. Why? Why are you so bad? Lucky Leo, thank you. Welcome. We always need someone to stumble into that trap. May as well be you. Your sacrifice is deeply appreciated. Yes, the word coffee is banned. No, it is not the only way to say coffee in chat. The clever amongst you will work out how to do it. There we go. I can see the clever amongst you already. The clever amongst you being, of course, the people who've given me ducats for the privilege of being able to say coffee in chat. I'm very much squarely on Team T, but I am not above a little corruptocracy now and then. Demi of Derp, flexing your mod privilege. My lord. Bad mods. Badmins, rather. Spiced tea. That may actually be how I refer to coffee from now on, as spiced tea. I approve. Greatly. Alright, so, to give you a quick rundown, don't have to worry about this side at all. Or this side, I don't even know if they could get to me. This is a tutorial area, so I think it's very, very much easy mode right now. So this is just going to be introducing me to a lot of different things. So I'm, for the most part, going to let the tutorial show me what's happening. But for a couple of the characters, we've got action points, mana, move points. They've all got skills, and if you look at the top, it'll show you what resources are required to use them. Also, some of the things you can do, like jumping over a barricade or something, cost movement points. That's what the green is there. We've got 3 heroes. I don't believe there is strictly a class for them, but I might be wrong about that. I think in this game, the class is more or less dictated by the things you give them, but they do, like, no two characters aren't born equal. It isn't strictly equipment-based. You have natural talents and perks and stuff, so you can basically build a character into a class, but I don't believe there is strictly a class system, unless I am mistaken. Either way, end phase. They're coming! Yes, they are. Can we appreciate how awesome this music is, by the way? Just listen to that. It's kind of like Zombie Night Terror vibes. The beat alone slaps. During the night, repel monsters until they're all dead. Move the heroes and use their skills in any order you like. Now, the numbers we're going to face are not quite they are billions territory, but it's probably a lot more than most people appreciate. We will be dealing with hundreds of characters. Enemies, that is to say. We may be dealing with only a few characters. Though across a whole campaign, maybe hundreds, if you're bad at the game. No shade, but a little bit of shade. Sorry, not sorry. Heroes' available skills depend on the gear they have equipped. Okay, maybe it is entirely gear-based. Now, over here we can have a look at the claws. They have different looks, but some of them are actually different. Like, so all of these claws, they have very different appearances, but they are all claws. But these two are dodges, and they do have a little bit of a, like, if you look closely, you can see them kind of phasing. Can I get more information about them at all? There might be some sort of encyclopedia somewhere that I can bring up. I don't know. Well, okay, let's start off. We've got an archer over here. Now, if you hover over anything, you can see what they're going to do. The red around here is showing where they can move. Now, in this game, a single character can... a single tile can only be occupied by a single character. So, if these two can move to this tile, but this one moves there first, then this one has to stand behind it. It can't go over it. But, you know, there's no particular reason why this one wouldn't move its full range. Except there is a way to slow them down. So bear in mind, you can actually use your enemies as impromptu obstacles. They can move through each other, so they don't function as barricades, but they can, you know, if they're occupying a tile, then that tile is unavailable for another enemy to occupy. So you can kind of use that to your advantage. We've got more of a melee person over here. They've got an offhand wand, which is interesting. That is very interesting. Sword of Damocles, offhand. This attack ignores the target's dodge. The lack of accuracy of ranged damage is nullified by this effect. Magic damage ignores half of the target's resistance. Physical damage weapons, we've got the Rusty Hammer, an offhand wand. Okay, deals 200% damage to armor, unblockable. This attack ignores the target's block, and undodgeable. Okay, that's quite interesting. And again, you can have offhand weapons, but some weapons are two-handed, so obviously this one... the short bow here, you can't have an offhand wand with a short bow, but I believe you can have weapon sets that you can switch between. I don't recall if that costs points to do. What do you give a sick lemon? Lemonade. Kenny, why is it that when I looked at chat, that's what I saw? Why were my eyes drawn to that awful joke? This is punishment. Oh, it's not the only thing my eyes are being drawn to be fair. Chat, you are wonderful. We've also got, I believe it's going to be a magic user. I think you always start with a melee focus, a magic focus, and a range focus, but again, melee is not purely melee focused. Again, undodgeable. Now, each one of these items, you'll notice that those... We've got 3 abilities here and just a punch attack. 4 abilities here, because it's double-handed in a punch attack. and 4 abilities here, but one of them is the offhand ability. So if you've got 2 single weapons, actually not too bad. You've got evasion. You've got brace. Okay, so my archer can brace themselves and increase their armor. Not the most useful combination. Likewise with my mage. We might want to switch them around because you've got evasion, which for me is more of a ranger skill. But we'll see. We'll see. Down here we also have the amount of mana each day that the characters restore. Outside of special abilities, you can't get health or mana back in the middle of a fight. Now, I've front-loaded this explanation with all of this kind of stuff. I'm sure the tutorial is going to go over it, but, you know, this is what I'm like. Get used to it. Straight arrow, power shot, tight volley, or rain of arrows. Notice the shape there. If I wanted to use this, I would have to get into a little bit of a better position, but I would pretty much hit everyone there if I could just scooch up by a few tiles. So, if I were to move over here, any movement is cancelable until you cast a skill. Now, that is something very, very important to note, because you might want to use that to your advantage. Just scooch around and move everyone into where you want them to be before you actually commit to any spells. But in this case, we're just going to go for it. This is going to hit pretty much... I think it's going to hit the ones in the back. I might be wrong. Alternatively, I could go with a tight volley. This one does a lot more. -2 move points on all of them. Affects vision. This skill doesn't require a direct line of sight to the target. Debuff decreases an attribute for a given duration. Range damage is inaccurate. Increasing the target's dodge the further they are. The penalty is applied before accuracy. Okay, well, limit per turn. Let's go for it. Okay, not too bad. Nice opening. Now, as I was mentioning about the mana, you kind of want to... You want to be careful about how you're using your mana because this is per day, not per turn. And the day is once we've killed all of the enemies. So if I burn through all of this 18 mana, the next day I'll only have 5. Unless I spend resources in order to get it back. We've got power shot. And we've got straight arrow. Let's go with dodge 1.8. They're not a dodger, so I don't need to worry about them. But I don't strictly want to use this on dodge-capable targets. Now, right now, I'm spreading out my damage. And you might be wondering why I'm not going for the kill. It's because these ones have all got -2 movement points, just because they have been hit by the tight volley debuff, but they've got a further -2 points because they're badly wounded. That little blood symbol there means that they've lost so much health. If I click on an item, it doesn't stay up. But if you notice around its health bar, the 15 out of 100, there's 2 little blood droplets. Those are the thresholds for wound effects. And it's past both thresholds. So they've got 2 wound effects right now. I believe the types of wounds that they get are based on the unit class. So a dodger probably has different kinds of wounds to a regular clawer. They're extremely slow right now. In fact, they can't move at all. Every one of these is stuck in place. These 2 can move, but they can only move 2, as you can see. So right now, I'm really not in any particular threat. So let's have a look at a couple of the other abilities. I've got one more ability to use. I could go with a straight arrow, I guess. We could try and aim here. Or I could go for you. Sure. Might dodge. No, actually hit you twice. -2 movement points, -9% dodge, and -30% total damage. So this is the only one that I can move at all. So I'm going to pull back at this point. No reason for me to stay out where they can possibly get to me. Bamelo, thank you ever so much for the 12 months, mate. Pairingcraft, thank you very much for the 16 months. Lindsay, for the 25 months. Just catching up now. Temple556, thank you very much for the Prime. Diolch Vaurio. And Arden Drub, thank you very much for the 33. Hey, Aavak, hope you and Lady Sheila are well. We are. Still got a little bit of a cough, but it might take a while for that to go. Now, we've got our... Well, actually, you've got a decent range, and this is unaffected by dodge, but it has a minimum range, notice. But most melee attacks have to be done close up. Now, I do have evasion. Let's have a look at what these do. Physical damage, opportunism multiplier. Multiplier applied to the hero's opportunism attribute for this attack. The number in parentheses is the final increased value. I don't know what that does. I guess that might be critical hits or something like that. But that has a ring, an AoE. We've got Stomp. Chance to apply stun, preventing any action for the entire turn. Monsters do not generate panic while stunned. Now that's something we'll talk about once they actually get closer to the Haven, if they do. Secondary effect. This effect only applies to the related tiles, and not the skill's primary target, and vice versa. Primary attack effects don't apply to those tiles. Okay, so... okay, so you got the primary in there, and then secondary around it. Fair enough. Now, I'd like to scooch forward. We're just going to clonk you with this. There we go. We can only use the offhand effect once a turn. We'd have to use mana for this, but we don't use mana for that, which is actually quite interesting. Now, don't feel that you need to use mana. Really don't feel that you need to use mana. Now, in a regular fight, I might actually be inclined not to kill these, because right now they're a detriment to our opponents rather than a benefit. They're not going anywhere fast, and some of them are not going anywhere at all, at least for this turn. So they're just going to clog up room that the enemy need to deploy more units. Think guerrilla tactics, because really, that's what you're playing here. We are not superior in any way, except for my beautiful, gigantic, superior, not dead brain. At least one of those things is true. The other's questionable. But the enemy vastly outnumber us. So this is guerrilla warfare. It's just not convenient guerrilla warfare, because we're not able to be that mobile, sadly. We've got something that's quite stationary that needs to be protected. But think guerrilla tactics. Wound your enemies, cause them to pull down the combat effectiveness of the entire enemy kind of deployment. You don't necessarily want to take all of them out all the time just because you can, because that clears the board for more to be deployed. Yeah, utilize them as walls. Exactly. A non-undead brain is a considerable asset. I agree. Very much. Believe it or not, gorillas don't often commit warfare. Fair. That is actually quite fair. Well played. Right. Now, how long does this effect last? I imagine this effect would probably last for just one turn. Limit only one turn. You know what? I don't know. How much movement points have I got? I could get up here. If I went there, I would only have one movement back. Honestly, there's not really much point in me pushing forward right now. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but there's no reason for me to use any mana. Yeah, this is just going to be one of those times where it's like, no, I choose to conserve my turns. We'll play this very tactically. It is a tactical game, after all. Now, as for you, you've got a decent range, but I am going to have to get quite close. Oh, transfer. Range 1 to 8. Gives back a portion of the given attribute. Restoration. Cannot overflow. Caster effect. This effect applies to the caster of the skill. Buff. Increases the attribute for a given duration. The effect is 1 action point. Cannot overflow. Okay, so it's a restoration effect on action points. Gives 1 action point back. Cannot overflow it. Buff increases the attribute for a given duration. Plus 10% damage, 1 turn. Also restoration. Oh, caster effect. Okay, so if we look at this, the stuff with the blue bar is a caster effect. So this will be applied to the mage who casts it. They'll get plus 10% damage for a turn. And we will also apply plus 2 movement points. So actually, that's not a bad deal. Sure, you can have that. Nice. Now again, this cannot overflow, but now I can safely move up and then move back 3. Nothing can get to us in that time, so... All right. Let's do it. Now, I should have actually done that once when I moved up and used the action points, but I'm not going to be keeping the action points, so that's not the thing that we're going to run out of here. How much mana do you return? You return a decent amount. Okay, we're going to clean this. So I'm going back on what I said about being tactical. I know, terrible. Is facing something that I need to worry about? It might be, actually. So, it might be. Unfortunately, we're just going to have our back facing. I don't believe there's a way to turn around. All right, now that that's done, let's scooch up all the way. And I'm just going to finish off with these. Oh, actually, I could do it again. Huh. Okay, learning. I should have considered that previously. Okay, another 10% damage up there. When you have no action points left, and your heroes are done with the turn, hit the end turn button, so trigger the Horde's turn. Action and move will be restored at the start of the next turn. That's fine. I can hit one over there. Now, you notice the banding. So this is dodge plus 1.8. This is just dodge 1.5. Tonk. That's good enough. I'll just hold tight there. And I've got two well, actually a couple. How many can I... This is 4. I can cast this spell 4 times. I can cast that spell twice. So, okay, we'll wipe everything out. It's not the most tactically sound thing to do, in my opinion, but it is a thing we can do. There we go. And then we'll armor up. Might be worth keeping the like buff skill for the very last thing you do. And kind of in the way you might play XCOM, do most of the stuff, but just don't commit to the last action point for your units until the very end of combat, where you've moved everyone else and you know exactly what the tactical situation is. Then use the armor up or evasion skills, because it does seem to allow you to turn around. The guerrillas' tactics are so good, nobody realizes there was a war. Also possibly true. Alright, that's end of turn. I think that's it. Hero's turn is about to end. You have unresolved tasks. 3 action points remain. Is there anything I could give you? There is literally nothing I can do with these action points, so I don't know why you're making such a fuss. There's no one left that I can attack. Now, a bunch of them wouldn't have been able to enter the combat if I had simply, left the enemy there. But that also means that, it would just mean next turn that we would have to fight them. Health and mana are not fully restored every day. Each hero's health regen and mana regen are attributes and are shown next to the health and mana indicators. 9 health, 5 mana. When a unit's health goes under a certain threshold, they become wounded. The inflicted negative effects are specific to the unit's type. Hero, claw, spitter, dodger, so on and so forth. Hover over the blood droplet icons under a unit's health bar to discover their effects. Okay. When current health is under specific threshold, but there are no... Oh, there we are. Movement points are decreased by 1/4, and then movement points are decreased by 1/3, and action points are decreased by 1/3. Duly noted. Now, I can comfortably use this once again. Is there a way of rotating this? Oh, it's the quadrants. Right, I see. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, but first, are they all claws? Yep, they are. Always check. In my opinion, that's a very important thing to do. But first, if I scooch forward, I'm going to be able to get a better shot off. Because this is now in the band, where there isn't a dodge benefit, I can just drop this right about here. Kapow. Okay, one went down. That's fine. Let's... I'm going to empty out power shot. It's much shorter range. Will this kill? Yes. Yes, it will. They've got no resistance. They've got a little bit of dodge. Alright. Well, I'm going to pop you. I've got 2 of these that I can deploy. Then 4 of the... I should have gone for the power shot there, really. Okay, I want to apply this. And I would like to do that over here, please. There we go. And now we can just fall back. No reason for me to be far forward. How far can the least wounded enemy reach? They can reach fairly far, but we should be safe down here. I'm going to move down there for now, and we'll consider where we go in a moment. Right, I want you to drop this on them. There we go, very nice. You can get pretty much all the way down. Everyone else is further back than that. Now, if I get right in there, I will possibly be able to do an enormous amount of damage, but I would actually like to get over here and lay the crush attack down. Oh, I can do this behind? Greatly appreciated. Duly noted. This can go through enemies. Remember that, chat. That feels like an incredibly important thing. Actually, I should have done that there as well. Right, I'd like to top that back up. There we go. We should be able to get outside of the range of any enemy movement now. And we can follow up with one more attack. And then just pull back. A few down. Millions to go. Correct. Oh, damn. Provident Murphy, why? The undead are good thieves. They have skeleton keys. Why? Why would you do this? So it's just zombies right now. How strange do the enemies get? Because I assume with what is essentially death magic nuclear fallout, there are some terrifying mutations. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, though. We are very early. These are super simple enemies. Super simple enemies. All right, let's drop some... We've got 4 here, and I can use it 3 times. Or I could use this. But do I want to? Multi-hit. This skill will be cast multiple times on the targets of your choice. How many times? We can cast this 4 times? That's actually not bad. It's basically 1 down for each mana spent. I could either take 3 down or mostly wound 3. I'm going to go for mostly wound 3. I don't need that. That's just using up points that I just don't need to sacrifice. Oh, out of range? What? How many movement points have I got? I've got plenty. Oh, okay, that works. Okay. Okay. Select the enemies to see their skills, attributes, and where they might move on the next turn. Press left alt to see where all enemies... Oh. Thank you. Though, I'm not seeing like things they might do. Oh, no, I am seeing things. I'm just not looking right. My bad. I'm dumb. So the claw... These claws retracted a bit differently. Oh, it's reacted a bit differently to the mist. They now shift constantly and uncontrollably between 2 dimensions. This renders them harder to hit, and correct timing mostly depends on sheer luck. Ignores half the target. Blah blah blah. We've got stun resistance, block, but they should. Yeah, they've got 18% dodge, whereas a regular claw. Have a look at you. Named after the incessant screeching of their claws against stone and metal, they are attracted to any source of magic like flies to corpses. The magic circle shines like a beacon to them. Luckily, they are quite stupid. It's physical damage, so worse against armor. And in terms of they've only got 4% dodge. Hello Malachi, how you doing, mate? 62 months, tier 3, my lord. Hello, buddy. Awesome to see you in chat. Hope you're having a fantastic week thus far. What did that skill say? Unlimited return. Yeah. So basically, from what I understand, we don't know how many action points they have, and it might simply be that they can only do this once, or it might be that they use movement points for it. I don't know. But you're right. It doesn't actually show us the pool that they draw from in order to do that. Whereas our punch is unlimited, but it does cost 1 action point per. Right, let's open up with a volley. Well, actually, you know what? Let's not go for a volley. Let's instead go for the... Well, let's try. Yes. Well done. And then I am simply going to plink as many people as I can. Slow them down a bit. I'm going to move up for this, though. And you. At this point, I want you to be able to attack again. Now, there are 45 remaining enemies. Number of enemies remaining on the map. The night will end once they are all dead. Now, how far can you get? If I were to move here, I would be out of range. Good. Now, time for you to move up. Yes. Because I can do this. I kind of want to get in there, though, I'm not going to lie. Let's also use this to smack you in the face. How much mana? I haven't spent that much mana. So what we're going to do, we are actually going to get in there and clobber someone pretty hard. There we go. Your bones will feed the dogs! No. That does not give undead, weird, mist-infused magical enemies to our dogs, please and thank you. That is animal cruelty. Just talk up a bit. Now, I could do this again if I really, really wanted to. I don't in this instance. So instead, I'm going to use this once. Scooch over. I'm going to smack both of you. Then I'm going to draw right back. At this point, you have got about as good damage as you can get. Since we have given plus 10%. I'm assuming that stacks. It might not. First thing, though, I want to get in there. Smack the only one that has high health. And then smack you. And then take you out because you're the closest. Oh, too close. Right. I'll just draw back a little bit. There we go. And turn. This hellish night's almost over. It is. Any enemy within your haven or damaging its buildings and walls will cause panic. At the end of the night, the panic level determines your rewards. Right, where is considered my haven? Is this my haven? No, it's not. Plain haven. Okay. Oh, we're fine then. We've got way to go before that becomes an issue. Let's go for the dodgers with magic. Take out the regular claws. Now, which one is able to get down to me? Well, I mean, it's probably going to be one of you, actually. much mana have you used? You haven't used any yet. One more. Bonk. Now, I see no reason not to use this buff because it makes the attacks that I use with this character so much more powerful afterwards. And we are safe there. Whoa, Aavak is back. What's going on? Did you have a vacation? I was getting worried. Alex Speed. I got 2 chest infections. I had some friends over to go to Edinburgh Hogmanay, and I picked up a chest infection in the crazy Scottish revelry on the streets of Edinburgh that night. That took me out for about a month. At the end of the month, I was more or less feeling good. I did like 2 streams. I started recording some stuff. And then I had one of the friends who'd come over from Hogmanay. They came over for another visit, a long weekend. And they would say that they definitely didn't bring anything. And will just stare daggers at me for even implying it was them. But then they forget that they were coughing all over the place. They were like, I didn't. What? No, it wasn't me. It's like, yes, well, you know, that chesty cough you had when we went out for dinner, says otherwise. So then I had a second chest infection. So it's basically, yeah, that's great. My immune system's already kind of run down a little bit. Let's just add some more fun to the fun. With a double exclamation mark, like Dwarf Fortress levels of fun. So yeah, that completely knocked me out. In fact, there was almost a week where I could not speak, and I'm not. You know when someone says, "Oh, I've lost my voice," and they mean, "Oh, I've lost my voice. I can't really talk." My lost voice was, "I cannot make sound. I can push air through my mouth, and if you're really close, I can form words, but I don't have any voice anymore. My vocal cords will not come together. They cannot make any kind of noise." It was pretty rough. To their credit, though, the Norwegian in question worried after me. Spent many nights on the phone listening to me whisper, keeping me company. But yeah, so like I was feeling okay, except that I could not do any work. Like I could not make sound. It's like, yeah, kind of hits the whole commentary thing, you know, pretty hard. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. Figured that, well, you know, if the Norwegians come over here and make me sick, well, I'll go to Norway. Logical, you know, for science. No regrets. Would accept chest infections again. 11 out of 10. Forced 2 months off work. I mean, I probably did need the break, but oh god, being forced to take it. This kind of comes into what I've said before, chat. Don't ignore your needs. You know, if you need a break, your body will have the break, whether you agree to it or not. It's gonna happen. It's better to happen on your terms. We've got 5 points. How far can they get? Yeah, we should be able to do this. Now, this is going to mean that I'm 1 mana down at the end of the night, but pop. It's a decent attack. Now, you're the only really fast one at this point, which is a bit of an issue. One, 2, 3, and we should be safe. Yep, there we go. And now you can happily plink everyone who's at full health. Or at least a couple of the ones who've got full health. The rest can still move, but, you know, we've drastically reduced their ability to engage. hello. Now, I don't know if they can attack when they enter. If they can, that's a bit scary, I'm not going to lie. Sort of tempted to use this, if I'm honest. Yeah, let's go for it. But let's use it a bit more sensibly. Realistically, we want a group of as many uninjured as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think there is actually a collection that is going to be better than hitting you. Actually, I want to be one further just to reduce the chance of a dodge. Okay, good. And while I'm here... Poop. And again. Damn, you were an ugly little fellow. Rude. No reason to be like that. Come on now, let's be classy. That is it for us there. We do need to now back out. Okay. Scooch up. Gonna wallop you. Gonna wallop you too. Scooch up again. Gonna wallop you two. I'm going to spend the rest of my points eliminating enemies around here. I should be using the hotkeys, honestly, to make it a lot easier. There we are. And top up. Now. We've got a lot of movement points still. And they cannot move very far. So let's just move up, hit you, then pull right back. We've only got 9 enemies left. Now I'm taking this a bit slower than I might otherwise. Mostly to showcase the sort of things that you can consider in making your moves. Like, we are in full control of this battle. At no point have we even been remotely under threat. And now we just clean up. I feel a little bit bad that you haven't actually gotten a chance to use any of your magic at all, so I'm just going to waste it here. I do apologize for the waste, but sure. Tonk. There we go. Now, both my melee and my archer have 1 mana down from their total. Yeah, I really do like the attack animations as well. Oh, thank you very much for the prime there, Stick and Chuffing. Diolch. Oh, Twisty One. Aavak, I've missed you, my Welsh-tongued, sonorous man. My. It's quite a compliment. I've missed you as well, Twisty One. I've missed chat in general. It has been rough not being able to hang out with you all. Yes, very nice.